Hi, my name is Todd and I'm a guide here at Hearst San Simeon State Historical Monument, better known as Hearst Castle. And I wanted to talk to you today about the virtual tours that we have been giving. Many of you know that we have been under some restrictions with the coronavirus. We cannot be open on the hilltop to give our tours. So in the meantime, we're trying to bring our tours to your home, right in the living room or on a laptop computer. And to do so, we still need to practice social distancing if you do happen to be in the area. The hilltop's closed, but what I want to talk about today is the state park surrounding Hearst Castle, which is still open as long as we do practice social distancing, using a mask, staying 6 feet apart from each other if we're around a crowd. Today's tour, I really want to talk about the state park, and it really was William Randolph Hearst front yard, the easiest part of planning the hilltop because it involves the Pacific Ocean behind me. So let's start our day across the street at San Simeon Cove, we call it locally, and we'll get into more details once we are down there. William Randolph Hearst State Memorial Beach sits right across the street, right across Highway 1 from Hearst Castle, and it just so happens to be one of the most beautiful beaches in all of California. It is a south-facing cove, and so it's one of the few beaches that even on a bad weather day in the summertime, you're going to probably have sunshine here at the beach. As I mentioned earlier, San Simeon Cove sits at the top of San Simeon Bay, so it's well protected from the wind, as well as when the fog's coming in. Usually there could be a nice gap of sunshine here, while on that same day you could look down to the Cambria coastline and see it shrouded in fog. I'm standing on the San Simeon Pier. This was built by the state parks in 1957, and it's a great place to view in some of the marine life that you can see during really the summer months are the best months to see marine life here. All year long you'll be able to see harbor seals, sea otters. We do get the gray whales migrating, and then a lot of times near the end of the summer, usually the best months would be August into September, we will get visits from the humpback whales, and a lot of times you'll be looking right down on them from the pier. Another good place to view would be from the beach or out on the point here at San Simeon, where there's a very thick kelp bed that the Pacific brown kelp happens to be the natural habitat for the sea otter. So if you want to get a good look at a sea otter, you want to be looking for the Pacific brown kelp. With the abundant sunshine here at San Simeon Cove, it is a good idea. Bring sunscreen, sunglasses, and a good hat. There are barbecue pits right on the sand on the beach here, available on a first come, first served basis. And those who are craving a little bit more privacy, a quarter-mile hike down to the end of the beach will give the whole place to yourself. After spending some time at the beach, one might want to take a little walk, a walking historical tour through Old San Simeon Village. Old San Simeon Village was originally an old whaling station out on San Simeon Point. When George Hearst first would buy the Pedros Blancos Rancho from the Estrada family, Whaling Village was part of that purchase. The whaling station was failing, so George would actually build a pier, and he'd build warehouses. He had rail cars that would come out onto the pier to unload and load ships. Fortunately for people like myself that grew up in the area, the shipping harbor really never materialized, and that's why you have this beautiful little historic village to walk through and enjoy the beach. You can see these cottages. These were built by George Hearst's son, William Randolph Hearst. The architect is the same architect, Julia Morgan, California's first female licensed architect that would design the Hilltop Estate. Hearst wanted this to look like an old Mediterranean Spanish village. There are 3 cottages, and the one just to my right was actually gifted to the Estrada family. Pancho Estrada was one of William Randolph Hearst's childhood friends, and he would stay on with the ranch And to this day, his family members still live in this house. Nowadays, all these cottages, just like when Hearst was alive, are being used by Hearst Ranch employees. Nowadays, it is part of the cattle operation. During Hearst time, a lot of the contractors, the superintendent that helped build the castle, all lived here in the village. Sebastian's General Store, which we're headed to, used to be the whaling station. When it was failing, they took a dog or horse-led sled, would drag the building into the heart of the village here. So you can see an old schoolhouse. There are 2 hotels, a livery stable, a blacksmith, the school. This is a thriving village when William Randolph Hearst, when his father first got here in the mid-1800s. So we're going to walk down towards Sebastian's, which is it's a historic building. It was a general store at the time, and they would ship a lot of the, originally when it was a whaling station, a lot of the oil from the whales was being shipped from the store itself. Nowadays, it serves as Hearst Ranch wine tasting, and Hearst Ranch has a wine label. They teamed up with Saunders Vineyards over in Paso Robles over the San Lucia Mountains, and now the general public can come enjoy some of the new labels coming out of the Hearst wine production. One of my favorite views from walking the village is of the old schoolhouse, which you can actually see Hearst Castle up on top of the mountains behind it. On a little side note, William Randolph Hearst's favorite grandson, Bunky, spent a little time going to school here as a young boy. Another must-see attraction at San Simeon State Park happens to be about 4 miles north of us on Highway 1, up at the San Simeon State Park Elephant Seal Rookery. No better way to end your day than just sitting right down here on the sand and taking in the views.